The Reformation of Boeing.
The Boeing 737 MAX project, intended as a competitive upgrade of Boeing's popular 737 series, faced major challenges after two tragic crashes in 2018 and 2019, which killed 346 people. These crashes were linked to a flight control system called MCAS, which had malfunctioned due to faulty sensor data and inadequate pilot training on its functions. In cases of faulty MCAS, the plane would nosedive repeatedly unless adjusted by the pilot. Following the crashes, global regulators grounded the aircraft for over 20 months, leading to extensive investigations and revelations about safety and oversight failures at Boeing and with the FAA. Boeing made necessary software and hardware fixes, improved pilot training, and worked with regulators to ensure the 737 MAX's recertification in 2020. Still today, Boeing is struggling with plane manufacturing.
According to our research, Boeing's culture has undergone a significant transformation over the past few decades, and unfortunately, not all of it has been in a positive direction. Traditionally, Boeing was known for its engineering excellence with a strong focus on safety and innovation. However, over the past few years, the company shifted its priorities. Instead of maintaining its commitment to engineering, Boeing began emphasizing cost efficiency, faster production timelines, and meeting market demands. One major factor driving this shift was its increased competition, especially from Airbus. In an effort to outpace their rival, Boeing started focusing on shorter deadlines and reducing costs, sometimes at the expense of a thorough test or thorough development. As a result, the company's safety culture began to erode. Safety concerns that were once paramount started being overlooked or ignored altogether. Now, after facing serious consequences, including the tragic 737 MAX incidents, Boeing recognizes the urgent need to return to its safety-first ideology. The company must realign its culture with the values that once made it a leader in the aerospace industry: safety, quality, and innovation.
Regarding Chapter 3 in our textbooks, Boeing has a lot of ethical issues regarding to this case study. For example, the company has for many years put too much emphasis on increasing profits and enriching shareholders with dividends and share buybacks, and not enough on investing in engineering and safety. The handling of manufacturing lapses, like the recent incident with the door plug, raises questions about Boeing's commitment to transparency and accountability. Employees reported reinstalled a panel improperly, suggesting lapses in quality control that could compromise safety. Boeing's relationship with the FAA has been scrutinized, especially regarding the certification process of the 737 MAX. Ethical concerns arise about whether regulatory standards were met and if Boeing's past practices were influenced by corporate interests. The effects of these ethical issues are the combination of the crashes and ongoing safety issues has led to a significant loss of trust among regulators, airlines, and the flying public. The company's stock price has dropped, and ongoing safety crises have hampered Boeing's ability to recover financially, particularly in competition with Airbus. The following incidents, like the blown panel, regulators have intensified their oversight, limiting Boeing's ability to increase production until quality issues are resolved. What I think the solution should be is that Boeing must implement stricter quality control measures and review manufacturing processes to prevent similar incidents to occurring in the future. The company should adopt policies that promote transparency regarding safety and manufacturing practices, helping to rebuild trust with stakeholders. And shifting corporate culture to prioritize safety alongside financial performance is crucial. This includes better training for employees and emphasizing safety in decision-making processes. And Boeing's executives need to clearly communicate their commitment to safety during earnings calls and public statements, as seen in the past instances where safety was prioritized over financial metrics.
Professor Ansari Andrews spoke on the Boeing 737 MAX incident as it relates to an ethical dilemma. She stated that as a manager, she would have taken into account every single consequence that could have affected any stakeholder group, ensuring that as a manager she didn't lose sight of the ethics regarding her organization's stakeholders. She highlighted how Boeing prioritized incentives towards profit maximization over the quality and safety of their own product. She proposed an ethical solution, including tying financial incentives towards quality control inspection reports and safety records, instead of tying this incentive towards maximizing profit. She suggested that Boeing should utilize the Josephson's core values model to keep managers from cost-cutting efforts. Keeping managers from cost-cutting efforts would likely prevent the catastrophic results, with the passenger stakeholder suffering fatal consequences. Boeing has proven to have had ineffective team management. In regards to Chapter 11 of our textbook, effective team management strategies should be addressed and utilized by Boeing. These issues not only impact employee well-being, but also compromise the overall performance of the organization. Top-down pressure to meet production timelines while keeping costs reduced created significant stress amongst employees. Employees had also expressed dissatisfaction in their work environment, for they felt uncomfortable expressing concerns specifically related to safety. The combination of high pressures and a fearful atmosphere led to the prioritization of speed over quality, overlooking the safety concerns contributing to the incident of the Boeing 737 MAX. Boeing needs to ensure productivity amongst teams while monitoring safety concerns. This can be done by reframing the role of managers, putting the focus on leading their teams toward common organizational goals, which would allow them to foster alignment and reduce pressures. Organizing teams into smaller, more diverse groups of employees will allow them to feel seen and comfortable, leading to an overall enhanced performance, increased responsiveness to customers, as well as increased innovation and motivation in an organization like Boeing.
Our interview is with Paul and Blake. They said that the blame is put on the CEO and the CEO management team. They're too focused on cost and shareholder return rather than safety return. They also believe that Boeing is too big to fail, and this is why they believe they can get away with these things. And Boeing's values shifted from building planes that delivered people from A to B into trading that reputation to focusing on shareholders only. What can we learn from this? Well, it's important to focus on the right priority, safety and well-being of the people. And this is related to bad management and the leadership culture of Boeing.
Chapter 13 is all about communication. Communication plays an important role in Boeing's operation in the development of Boeing 737 MAX. Effective communication is the backbone of any successful company. When it comes to designing and building complex aircraft like the 737 MAX, its importance cannot be overstated. One issue was communication with stakeholders following the crashes. In this challenging period, how Boeing communicates with its stakeholders, both internal and external, was critical to the company's ability to recover and regain its credibility. When dealing with regulatory bodies such as FAA and EASA, Boeing had no choice but to work with these agencies to understand their concerns, respond to safety requirements, and address potential flaws in 737 MAX design. Boeing also had to communicate with the families of the victims and the public. But in this area, Boeing struggled because of lack of transparency. Another issue was communication within Boeing, with departments such as engineering and management. Clear communication between departments is essential for maintaining quality, safety, and operational efficiency. Engineers needed to communicate effectively not only with one another, but also with management to ensure that they had the resources, time, and support needed to address safety concerns. While on the management side, they are responsible for making tough decisions and balancing the need to address safety concerns. In order to reach this high level of communication, transparency was needed between engineering and management. I was able to interview Erica Legendra. During the interview, Erica could not stress enough about how.
And I also think just accountability and transparency is very important.
You may be wondering, why is it important? It helps build safety and public trust. With accountability, internal and external teams like regulators, management, and engineer were responsible for making sure that the aircraft were safe. It is only right that who were involved with making the aircraft take responsibility for these decisions and work on them. While with transparency, stating what went wrong and how it happened, Boeing needs to clearly communicate the issues with 737 MAX, both internally to its team and externally to the public. By the lack of transparency, Boeing lost a lot of credibility. She then went on about knowing your audience.
And things that you can do when you know your audience, I think that's the main thing.
When she says audience, she means the department that are behind Boeing. For example, she talked about how to communicate with the engineers, stating,
how do your engineers like to be communicated with? Are they email people? They don't check their email? Okay, get them all in a room once a week and give them important updates like that.
She also talked about ways to make sure that people read their emails, stating,
senior leadership, they don't like to be in meetings. Okay, send them an email. Prove to me that you read your email. I don't know, like read receipts.
She mainly talked about how it's important to know your people and how they like to be communicated with, and ways to make it effective. Overall, the development and challenges of Boeing MAX 737 demonstrate the key role that communication plays in the industry. It shows it's not about building a great airplane, it's about making sure everybody's on the same page to ensure the highest standard of safety, quality, and performance are achieved.
This next slide is a statement from Kelly Ortberg, who is the new CEO of Boeing. This statement is addressed to all of the employees. The summary of this basically says he wants to restore trust with all of the customers, whether that's building high-quality, safe commercial aircraft, delivering on defense and space products that allow our customers to meet their mission, or servicing our products to keep our customers running 24/7. This is really important for the new development of Boeing and how they plan to come back.
In October, the new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, revealed a four-part plan to reinvigorate the company in the wake of the situation. Understanding that Boeing had little public trust, an enormous amount of debt, and product performance issues, Ortberg attempts to show the importance of a cultural change in the company. The first step is to change the culture, with Kelly saying that leaders must engage with employees face-to-face to address the cultural issues such as accountability and to create more collaboration. The second step is to stabilize the business by removing debt and putting the company on a path of stability, as opposed to the turbulent experience before. The third step is to enhance execution discipline, meaning that in order to create aircraft reliably and consistently, the management of risk and supply chain routes needs to be improved. The fourth and the last step is that Ortberg believes they need to build for the future. This means that while Boeing is in the face of the biggest trouble they have experienced as a company, they need to look to the future along with fixing the current present situation. And Kelly plans on doing that through the creation of new aircrafts.
In order to fix the problems that I previously stated, Boeing has gone through a bunch of transformation efforts, including the appointment of the new CEO, Kelly Ortberg. Boeing also appointed new safety and ethics-focused leaders, for example, a creation of a chief aerospace safety officer. Boeing also created a more safety-focused training for all its employees. And then finally, there has also been an implementation of more open communication and whistleblower protection.